Hi, I'm Dr. Ayo. You're here. Okay. I don't know how you got there, but I have this very strong feeling that you're here because you're supposed to be here. You're watching this right now because you are supposed to be watching this right now. People who have been very observant and sensitive have come to realize that there is really no such thing as coincidence in life. You know, I'm sure you saw a particular movie where they kept saying that the universe has a way of making sure you're where you're supposed to be at the right time. Okay, so but then I still have to warn you. I feel like I should just pause a bit and just give you the window of opportunity to back down. Are you sure you want to do this? Okay, you want to do this. This has the capacity to change your life. This will change your life. If you want to stay with the status quo, if you want to just stay in the comfort zone, if you do not want to develop and you just want to maybe you are afraid of success, or maybe you are afraid of failing, or maybe you are afraid of launching out, whatever it is that you are afraid of. If you want to stick to your fears, stop this video now. Okay, all right. So it looks like you are hell-bent on it. So let's do this. I'm Dr. Ayo. I'm very happy that you're watching this. I'm super duper very grateful to you because this means a lot to me. Like I said, I'm very invested in this, and before I came up with this free course, I've had to battle with high levels of unsettledness. That feeling when you have a lot and you just have to give. I need to give this to some people. I need to give this out. I kept feeling like I need to give this out. I need to give this out. And then when I finally came up with this, I was so happy. Then here comes the next challenge. The next challenge was, okay, so it's a free course. We already target how to be set for life, how to guarantee that you are successful in life. Knowing the things that every great person that you know around you knows. But then I have to sum up everything into a course, into a video that if you watch once and lay hold of, it will be enough for you for the rest of your life. How does the person do that? How do I put in everything? How do I compress? Okay, because I have to assume that maybe you're not going to see me again, or maybe you're not going to follow me on social media, or maybe you're not going to, I don't know, maybe the internet is just going to break down and you just have this on your phone. It has to be enough for you for all your life. How do I do that? During the course of the 2 weeks, I just kept having thoughts to articulate. Things kept coming from here and there and here and there, and I just kept thinking. I knew the things I wanted to teach you. I knew the things I wanted to say. I knew what I wanted to achieve with the course. I knew what I wanted to help you to become. I knew what I wanted to help you to be able to do consistently. I knew all of those. But then I still had the challenge of bringing them into one video. Not just bringing them into one video, bringing them under a representation that covers it all, And then it finally hits me. And I'm very excited at the way it's coming, and you're also going to love it because it's just perfect. You're going to understand why I say it's perfect. Very soon. It's just wow. Okay, so let's dive right into this right now. There's this saying about how a smart person always have answers. Have you ever met people and say, you always have answers for everything? You always have answers for everything. Okay, yeah, that's a smart person. I'm sure you've seen one or two of those smart people who they don't always just have answers. They always just know what to say. They always know what to say. Okay, that's very good. That's very wonderful. But that is still a low level. The higher or highest level is the level where you solve mysteries. That's the level where you ask questions. So the saying goes that a smart person knows answers, a wise person asks questions. So I thought I'm going to come at this from the angle of questions. Okay? Very good. And then I have to also now battle. So what questions am I going to ask? So how do I come up with, is it going to be, how many questions are going to be? Because if it comes to life, you tell me, how many questions do you think that the person needs to ask for his life to be good? And it's not even just the question. It's not even just the question. It's also, it's also knowing what questions and when. I'm already feeling like I'm jumping ahead of myself. So, okay, so I thought I'm going to come at this from the angle of questions. And then I was satisfied. And then after a while, it started coming to me again, like I should come at this from the angle of concepts, several concepts about life that I just felt that if I taught you those concepts, then you'll be fine. And I kept thinking, am I going to come at this from question? Am I going to come at this from concept? Is it question? Is it concept? Is it question? Is it concept? And then one day, I was looking at the two jotters, and I realized that they were the same things. The question begets the concept, and the concept forces questions. So I thought, no, this is impossible. No. It cannot be this sweet. No, it's not. It's a lie. It's a lie. And interestingly, I've not done so much digging, but I can tell you that as far as I have read, as far as I know, I have not seen this anywhere. And it's one of the reasons why I just knew that I just had to put this out there for you. I just knew. And when you know something, like I just knew. And see the way it came, it's just very, very wonderful. So one last thing that I'm going to say before I now start, like fully start. I know you're like, oh yeah now. Yeah, that's how I feel. But you see, I need you to understand the importance of this thing, because some of you are seeing for the very first time, and some of you, my name is not a name that you have had before. So you have this feeling of, so what can this guy possibly know that will change my life? Just chill. For a moment, forget about messenger. Let's focus on the message. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to get you to focus on the message and not on me. Because like I told you, the certainty at which this came, the uniqueness of this, it has to be meant for you. It has to be meant for you. And you better just take it. This is crazy interesting. This is crazy interesting. Okay, so I'll just jump right at it. You see, when I was tagging this course, how to set yourself up for success, or how to be set for life, or how to guarantee that, I kept feeling that this title does not begin to quantify exactly what this thing is set to do for people. And I just kept wishing that how people see this title, I hope they watch this course. I hope this title is enough for you, because I'm very, 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 I feel for the persons, the people who will not get to watch this for whatever reason. This is why I'm going to be investing so much to make sure that these videos circulate. Please follow this page. Please share this page. Follow this page, share this post on your social media, everything. Please and please and please. Let people have enough of this. Let this go around, let people see it. You see, because in the course of this course, I'm going to teach you something about how do I get it on time? About benevolence, about how when you share, the concept of sharing. I'm going to, oh God, man, it's too much. Please share. Just share this video with your friends. Please share this video with your friends. I mean, it's just the way it's just coming to me is, oh my God. Please just follow me. So when I saw this, I was doing my research, of course, even if you have something you knew, you still research, because you want to make sure that you present in such a way that the person can understand, Ordinarily, the science of knowledge is that you go from known to unknown. So there is no way for me to take you to where I want to take you, where you have not been to before, without starting from a particular point that you are familiar with. So that is the essence of research. Sometimes you have to research so that you can link what is existing to what you're about to bring into existence. You know? So, and that's the chain reaction for progress. Okay? So, that sounds like something quote worthy. Okay, don't mind me. Alright, so now, and I realized that I could not have made this thing up. Like, you know, for example, we are going to retitle this course something like this. I'm not yet sure exactly, you know, it may still go through some little fine-tuning and all of that, but we're going to call this the 7D of life greatness. The 7D of life greatness. Basically, that's like the 7 dimensions to life greatness or to success or something like that. But anyway, it's going to be 7 to 7. 7 raised to 7, 7D. You know, 7 is the number for perfection. You can Google it. It's just there. You can Google it. I didn't make that up. Of course, I didn't make that up. It was something that I learned. You know, how you have 7 seasons in the person's life, how it's 7 days a week, you know, and things like that. Okay? And then I realized that since I wanted to come from the concept of questions, there are 7 WH questions in everybody's vocabulary. There are 7 WH questions. Why, what, who, when, where, which, and how. You may think that how starts with H, you know, but it still has H and W, so it still comes under the WH questions. 7 of them. I didn't make them up. 7, right? Okay. What did I tell you about 7 being the number of perfection? 7 is the number of perfection. 7 is the number of perfection. Oh my, this is interesting. So when I started thinking about it, I thought, okay, so if there are 7 questions, that means there has to be 7 broad concepts. Remember what I told you about how it just occurred to me that the concepts beget the questions. I mean, the questions beget the concepts, and then the concept forces the questions. Okay, so you know, at the beginning, I already wanted to talk about the concept of perception, the concept of people, and then the concept of place, you know, and then boom, it started to fit. I mean, things started to just fix. Let me show you. So why? The question of why begets the concept of purpose. The question of what begets the concept of perception, and then who begets the concept of people. The question of when begets the concept of period, phases, or time. The concept of where, begets the question of where begets the concept of place or space. And the question of which begets the concept of plan. And then the question of how begets the concept of process. Do you have your pen and your jotting pad? Do you have it at hand? If you do not have it, pause this video now, get a pen, get a jotter. In fact, get a pen, get a jotter. So we are doing what you call the 7x7 model. The 7x7 model. The 7x7 model. The 7x7 model. That's what we are doing. So please bring out your pen and your jotter because you need to start taking things down. You know, so don't write long things, just write little things that you can, you know, always go to and remember. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video for a while and then I'll just, you know, refresh and then come back later. Okay, you're welcome back. You're welcome back. Okay, so how does this 7x7 model, how does this 7D thingy, how does it fit into my life? How do I apply it? So it simply means that, this is what it means. It means that if you take any particular subject, for example, on a broader perspective, if you take maybe the subject of your life, if you take it and you look at it from the 7-dimension angle, you know, okay, so this thing, oh God, this thing is very interesting. Okay, so you know 2D. 2D is for example, if you write on a paper, that's 2D because you just go length times breadth. Okay, so you go up and then you go down, that's 2D. I mean, so if you just go like this and like this, that's 2D. So that's how you write, on a paper. That's 2D. Now, 3D is length times breadth times height. So you go like this, you go like this, you go like this. That's 3D. That's like a cube, 3D. So so everybody knows that. Have you seen people who watch anime? Okay, so sometimes you have drawings that come in 2D, like cartoon characters that come in 2D, and then you have the ones that come in 3D because then you can turn around. Some of you are familiar with 3D games. Okay, so that's what you call 3D. Now, 2D is okay. It can pass an information to anybody, who is seeing it, or 3D is much better because the person who you are sending the particular information to can experience it in greater measures. Okay, so that's fine. All right, that's fine. But then after a while, you start going to cinema, and then how in cinema there's 3D where you can see and feel virtual things and blah blah. And after a while, you start having 5D cinemas where you can actually not just see but also feel. For example, I remember my friend and I went to cinema at Lagos, Ikeja Cinema, and then we were having this. I think it was 5D. Point is that if you sat in the cinema and then the car was moving. And the car swerved right, your chair also swerved, so you can actually feel it happening. That was 5D. Now, imagine what 7D would be. Now because you have been trained all your life to work on 2D and then to express some things in 3D, sometimes they give you an impression of 5D, but there is no particular training that ever took you to 7D. It's not in any school curriculum, it's not anywhere. But now you are getting it. You now have to use the 7D approach to everything. You now have to use the 7D approach to everything. Which is very, 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 very interesting. Which is very, very interesting. Which is the good thing. So if you take any subject, for example, let's assume that you take your life, for example. If you look at it from the 7D perspective, 7-dimension perspective, and you apply the 7D to it, you will get very massively great results from your life. So, whatever it is, let's assume that you want to do something, whether it's a business you want to do, or whether, whatever you want to do, if you look at it from the 7D, it will be massive success. So now I want to break it down for you. Now, why? The first one is why. Why is a very, very important question. All of the times, why will always be the greatest question. And the idea is that the why has to be strong. You see, for every endeavor, why will always be the foundation. Just imagine building a house. There is no way a house will not have a foundation. And you see, the higher the house is going, the deeper the foundation goes. It is what it is. It is the only way anything will work. So if you are targeting a great life, then your why has to be great. There is no shortcut, there is no alternative. Why? Everybody that you know who is successful has a strong why. When I say strong, make sure that your why, for example, make sure that your why is positive and your why is good. But you see, strength goes both ways. But the point is, nobody will achieve greatness without a very strong why, which is basically the concept of purpose. Why? Why this? Why not that? So if you ask why, you also ask why not sometimes. Why this? Why not that? Why? Why? You have to ask yourself why. Sometimes in life, your life do not start until you acquire the why. So it's okay. Sometimes, it's okay. People are different phases of their life, you understand. But the why phase is where everything begins to happen physically. So, and the good thing about a 7-dimension perspective is that there is no beginning and there is no end. For example, let me quickly jump ahead of myself. For example, I'm going to always come back to, there's no way I'll talk about one and not talk about the other. So in my mind, I feel like I'm talking about why, but I'm just about to start talking about what, because there's where they all link to themselves simultaneously at the same time. So for example, why is the basis of physical evidence? Yes, absolutely. But you see, usually everything will sometimes start with conception. To conceive something. So now that begs now the question of what? The question of what is the concept of perception. And it's crazy because this is crazy. I was telling you that it's 70. Now the way it goes, I know for sure in my mind that anything I pick can be divided into 7. That's what makes it perfect. For example, purpose can be divided into 7, but I've not done that yet. I have not done that yet. Okay, so I've not done that for purpose, but interestingly, I've done it for perception. Perception is a concept of. Perception is deep. It's deeper than. When you perceive, it means that you see a thing for what it is, or you know a thing for what it is, or you identify a thing for what it is. So perception is vision, perception is imagination, perception is sight, is foresight, is insight, is hindsight, and then it's also a dream. Okay, so if I know how to better this country, for example, if I know how to better my country, for example, it is possible that I have not seen it anywhere, because there is no country on planet Earth that has the exact kind of dynamics as my country has. So if I want to, solve, for example, if I want to take my state, from where my state is now to where I think it should be, that is most likely a dream. Or sometimes just an imagination. I have to be able to see something that is not out there. And then that is how, that's how you now understand the question of what. Because it forces the concept of perception. Perception has to. Okay. My job is to make these things very simple for you. If I ask you, what is wrong with you? If I ask you, what is wrong with you? Let's assume that, something is going on with you, and I ask you, what is wrong with you? So if I ask you, what is wrong with you? The question is what, right? You are going to answer me in several ways. But all of the ways in which you could possibly answer me is always going to be based on your perception. It is always going to be based on whether you are able to identify the thing that is wrong with you based on either history, which is insight. Insight is an event that has occurred and you being able to see it from the back. Or you're able to just look inward and determine how you are feeling. Or you are able to use your imagination to explain to me and say, the way my head is doing me as if they are pricking me with needle. Okay? So you can see how perception works. It is a function of what you identify as your what. So what it means is that every great person has unique sense of perception, or when I mean unique, I mean strong sense of perception. To be able to identify what is in juxtaposing with what was, to be able to determine what could be. You know? And then that now begins to drive series of change of event, but the whole idea is that you want to be great, you have to be able to answer the question of what. And it comes with, the better you are at perception, the better it is you are going to be able to answer the question what. And when you answer the question what, you set yourself up for greatness. The better you are able to answer the question of what, you set yourself up for greatness. And it's like that. So I want to run it again. It is vision, imagination, sight, foresight, insight, hindsight, dream. You know, at the beginning, I already had this challenge of, every single thing that I wrote there, I can take 30 minutes to explain each one of them. Okay. Let's move on. So we have done why and we have done what. So you can now bring the questions side by side and say, why are you doing what? So if you look at why from a 7-dimension angle, which basically means you break your purpose down into 7, and you now break your what down into 7, what you are going to have is, so it means that if you ask the question, why what, you may be able to come up with 49 answers. It's crazy, right? It is. I'm enjoying this. I like the way this is messing up with your mind in a very good way. I like it. I like it. I was just about to mention the word possibility. Okay. All right. I'm not going to take, because if I start talking about possibility now, I am going to take you off course. So we have done why and we have done what. So let's now go to who. The question of who begs the concept of people or persons or entities. Who? The question of who is very, 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 very important. In fact, you see, when I was coming up with this course, I also had to answer that question. Interestingly, you can see that I'm already doing my own why. I told you why I was doing this at the beginning. Because I will not have the peace that is necessary for me if I do not do it. So I'm doing this because for me, it is survival. This is how I am going to be able to live. This is me living my life. That's the purpose. That's the why that I'm doing this video. What I am doing, I have also explained to you. What I'm doing is I need to get you a compressed compendium of knowledge-based concept or questions that I can guarantee will drive your life forward, no matter what, no matter whether you're able to see something else or not. That's the what. And then of course, I have to know that, okay, so who are the people who needs to get this? And I narrow it down to young people, male and female, Africans most especially, because of the way our history has been, because of the suppression and things that have happened in our race, whether it does not matter where you are. If you have melanin, you have a peculiar problem. So that's for me are the who, and I know them when I see them. When I see the who, I know them. So imagine that you now bring it together to say, why do what with who? Or why who? Or who what with? You know? And you must be able to answer no matter what it is. No matter what it is, you must, if it's your life, it's your business, if it's your goals, no matter what it is, you have to be able to answer the question of who. Who? What people? People. Have you ever seen anything? Have you ever seen anybody? Have you ever seen any movement? Have you ever seen any protest? Have you ever seen any great thing? Have you ever seen any tragedy? Have you ever seen anything that happened and was not about people? Is it Holocaust, which is a terrible negative thing? Is it World War II or World War I? Or was it the internet? What franchise? What franchise was it? Is it KFC? What, mention anything? What, mention, is it a church? Is it a religious gathering? Is it teaching? What can it possibly be that it will not be about people? Is it construction? Is it time travel? Is it time travel? There's nothing. So imagine that you now decide to play down on the answers to the question who. Just imagine. You need to know who your life is about. I know who my whole life is about. My life is about young people. 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 I know. And I can narrow it down. I can narrow it down to young people facing challenges. I can narrow it down to young people who are having financial problems. I can narrow it down to young people who want to be rich in legitimate ways. I can narrow it down to young people who are thirsty and hungry for wisdom. But the who has to be clear. The who has to be clear. Okay, so we've done why, we've done what, we've done who. So let's talk about when. Let's talk about when. So when begs for the concept of period, like period, or phases, you know, that's the concept of time. Seasons, you know. So I read a report a long time ago, and these people were talking about, I mean, it was a video on YouTube, and the guy was talking about what is the singular most important factor to determine whether a startup will do well or not. What? Like, okay, so we need to bring this down to one thing. We need to bring it down to one thing. What one thing will guarantee that a startup succeed? And you know, there are several things to consider. There was team, there was leadership, there was the whole sort of the idea, you know, and things like that. Guess what it came down to? It came down to timing. When? And this person used a particular example. Do you know that there was an app that was exactly like YouTube, but came about 2 years earlier than YouTube? That was the wrong timing. And that was all. I'm sure you cannot imagine now. Imagine that an app that like YouTube came 2 years before YouTube and is nowhere to find. I'm sure you are even hearing this for the first time. If I remember the name, I'm going to probably put in the comment or something. You know? And it was the wrong timing because at the time that it came out, internet broadband width, the capacity of how people can harness internet was not yet at this level, which made it difficult for people, the majority of the masses of the people who, again, you know, to stream videos. Can you imagine? I mean, that's just it. So, when should you do what with who and why? Why and when should you do what with who? Of course, I can't find all of the answers for you because you are the one who can categorically tell exactly what you're doing or what you want to do right now. But You must answer the question of where. Okay, sorry, I jumped ahead of myself, right? So, yeah, truly, you must answer the question of where. We have done why, we have done what, we have done who, we have done when. So let's do where. Where begs the concept of place or space. Where do things happen? Where does what come into place, and where are you going to be watching this? Where are you going to be when this video comes at you? Because where you are when this video comes to you will determine whether you're able, for example, to pay attention. And sometimes I want to tell you that, because you are looking at things in the 7th dimension, you have to understand that sometimes where is physical, as in space or place. Sometimes it's also mental, because, for example, where did I first conceive this? Where did I first think about it? A mental space, an abstract space that is not seen to any eye other than mine. And then now, see where we are right now? We are online. You are watching this online. Where are the people? Where is who? So that you can get what across to them. Where will you find them? What do you want to do? Where will they listen to you? Where will they need you to be? Where did they go to? Where? You must be able to answer the question of where. Even if you want to live, you have to answer the question of where do I want to live? Where do I want to express my Mr. Niger D? Which is this supposed, characteristics of life, of being alive. Where? Okay. So let's go to which. Which you have to be bewitched. What did I say? You have to be bewitched. There is nobody who became successful without bewitched. You need to know which. That's planning. Because if you start to look at all of these things together, you need to know which ones comes first. Which is a product of what and when. That's which. Which one should I pick? Because it means that one must be touched before another is touched. Because one must come for a particular purpose before another, and stuff like that. Which? I saw something on YouTube yesterday, and this man, very good, very, very great man, was talking about how you have to start small and have the big picture in your mind. So, if you have to start small, it means that you have to pick particular things that you want to do now and things that you have to do later. Which is it? Your life is complex, is compounded with a lot of things. Which thing? Which are you going to pick now? That's planning. The interaction between words. The interaction between multiple words is what begets which. It's like how the interaction between speed and time begets acceleration. That's which for you. That's planning. That is why you will never see anybody who has done well in life without a plan. It is not possible, my sister, my brother. It is not possible at all. Nada. It ain't ever happened, it ain't gonna happen. And then let's go to this final process. But before I go to the final one, so let me tell you, you see, this is a course, right? This is a training, okay? This is a training, okay? So I want to do, when I was thinking about, okay, so I want people to learn this thing. I want people to learn this thing. How? I have always known since I came across this information that you see, doing is the highest level of any particular learning. How did you learn to walk? How did you learn to walk? How did you learn to walk? You learn to walk by walking. No cap. No cap at all. No cap at all. You learn by doing. You learn walking by walking. You learn swimming by swimming. You learn driving by driving. Every skill, everything that mattered in your life, you learn them by doing. The only things that you learn by not doing are the things that you are being unable to maximize. Go and check it. Go and check it. The best engineers are the engineers who are engineering. The best inventors are the inventors who are inventing. You read the book on how to swim. You still gotta swim to be able to swim. You still have to swim to learn how to swim. That's just how it is. That is how it is. So now I realized that I wanted to do more than this. I understand that this is very, very valuable. This is very, very good. But. I realized that if we are doing a 7D dimension, that means that we're going to do a 757 days challenge. That means we are going to do a 49 days challenge. I want to challenge everybody. I'm sure you've participated on several challenges online, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and all of that. How many challenges have you participated in that changed your life? How many? Excuse me, probably zero. I'm almost sure it's zero. It is high time that you participate in a challenge that definitely will change your life. 49 days challenge. I don't know what you're going to call it, it still comes under some sort of marketing, but I can tell categorically that it's going to be 49 days challenge, 7x7 days challenge. And it's going to be mind-blowing. I swear down. It's going to be mind-blowing. I'm going to, so it's going to be live broadcast every day in the morning. I'm just going to do a live broadcast every day, take a particular thing and discuss it for that day. I like pieces it, anything that I pick. For example, I'm just going to pick one concept or something and pieces it for that amount of minutes that I dedicate on it. It's going to be massive, step by step. Things that you can begin to do. For example, anything we discussed today, for example, you are going to be able to do it today. Because doing is how you learn. You see? So basically, it means that people are generally able to remember 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they see and hear, 70% of what they say and write, and then 90% of what they do. Remember how I told you that you should bring out your pen and write things down. Okay, so you're seeing me, you're hearing, and then you're writing, because I was trying to get you to 70%. But however, I literally want to go to 100%. That's why we're going to have the 49 days challenge. We are still going to have it. We are still going to break the internet with that. So please share this, get your guys on this, and I mean, this is about you. This challenge is about you. This challenge is about you. This challenge is about you getting a result that you can own, a result that cannot be taken away from you no matter what. A result that cannot be taken away from you no matter what. This challenge, this 49 days challenge, is about you. And by all indices, we are going to start this challenge by July 1st. First day of July, we start this challenge. So this is April. So we have May. You have the whole of May, the whole of June to prepare. If you're maybe, I don't know if you're going to want to bring it to June 4th, but in my mind, I think I'll just stay with July. July is already 7th month. Oh, wonderful! It's going to be July. It has to be July. It has to be July. July is the 7th month. It's July. It's July. I mean, settled. Oh my God, this is crazy. What year are we on? 2021. 21 is a multiple of 7. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the last one. Let's go to the 7th question. How? How begets the concept of process? Process. Where I come from, there are several kinds of foods, but there are two particular food that you make from beans. One is called akara, and the other one is called moi moi. One is called akara, the other one is called moi moi. Now, everything that you use to make akara is also the same things that you use in making moi moi. I don't think they have very few differences in their ingredients. So you use beans as the major ingredient and you have put other business. But however, one ends up as akara, the other ends up as moi moi. Why? Because of how the beans was handled. If you handle the beans in particular ways, it comes out as akara. And then if you handle it differently, it comes out as moi moi. Guess what? You have to blend the beans for both of them. But you blend the beans for longer in moi moi than you blend the beans in akara. And then after a point in time, you have to fry akara, which means that you have to drop the mix of the bean mix into hot oil. But then, you see, when you take a little hot oil and pour it into the beans. So when you drop the beans into oil, when you drop oil into the beans. Okay. So you see, every great man knows that anything that will be massive, any result, anything has to be a function of process. There is no way. You know those things, you know these 7 things, you can put them together, you are set for life. Forget it. And the reason for the 49 days challenge is that I just don't want you to know this, because knowledge is useless if you just stay as knowledge. Knowledge becomes valuable when it goes through the process of doing. I wrote something down, and then I would like to, just take them as pluses. Some things that I'm still, ruminating about. I'm still going to share definitely. I know definitely I'm going to share it in the 49 days challenge, because you see, when you take each concept and you relate them to each other. For example, if you mix, let's say you mix what with when, you get the concept of possibility. If you mix what with when, you get the concept of possibility. If you mix what with when and then where, you get the concept of incidence or precedence. And if you mix the concept of how, where, and when, you get progress. You get the concept of progress. If you mix the question of where, what, and when, you get progress. So this has been awesome. This is the summary. Take why, take what, take who, take when, take where, take which, take how. Take them as questions that you have to answer on any particular thing that you are embarking on. If you do that for real, there is no way. You answer those questions on the 7 dimensions like that, nobody, nothing, the whole world will not be able to stop your success. I'm telling you, there is no way you will do that and not become a mega superstar. There is no way. There's just no possible way that is ever going to happen. Thank you very much for watching this. I believe that this has helped you a lot. I remain Dr. Ayo. Share this video to anybody, everybody, anybody that you love, even if you don't love them. Please share the videos with them. Okay. 49 days challenge is going to be very, very awesome. One of these I am going to definitely talk about love and money. Love and money. I'm going to talk about love and money. I'm going to talk about how love impacts money, or how love begets money, not how you spend money on love. No. How I'm going to be sharing things in ways that you have never had them before. I am absolutely sure that that's what's going to happen. So thank you very much. It was nice to have you on this show. Please remember to follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. You can also be friends on LinkedIn, listen to our podcast and everything. Thank you so much for your time. I do not take it for granted. Thank you for allowing me to live my life.